Hello and welcome to X-Plane 11 Beta Learning to Fly. In this series I'm going to be learning how to fly in as many planes as I can within X-Plane 11. My sort of history with flight simulators is sort of patchy. Like I've only ever come in and just played around, flew around a bit with no sort of respect for the rules or anything like that, or flown properly. I've never done a flight plan or anything of the sort. So, this series is going to be about learning all that, learning to fly properly. I'm starting off here in a little Cessna, and we are currently on RAF Lynham. If I bring up the map, there we go, we can see if we scroll in, this is EGDL, which is RAF Lynham. I'm currently parked in the western ramp, so it's just like a storage area basically. And all we're going to be doing today, just so that I can get myself a feel for the aircraft, get a feel for the game, things like that, is we're going to take a flight starting on runway 06. We're going to take off that way. We're then going to fly up to EGVA up here, which is RAF Fairford. Just a nice short little flight, should only take about 15 minutes or so. We're then going to land on runway 09. Now, the reason why I picked these two airfields is because they're actually quite close to my hometown. And we will actually see that as we fly over. It's sort of in this area, roughly. But what we're going to do is I'm going to pop this map out after selecting the correct runway that we're going for. Where are we? It's EGVA. Okay, come on. RAF Fairford. Yeah, let's select the glide slope, please. There we go. EGVA runway 09. Perfect. So this is the glide slope that I'm going to be trying to follow on my way down. We're also going to be following the little lights that you can see. I'm going to pop the map out and chuck it on my second monitor, just so that I can see it. I will refer to it a couple of times in the flight. Let's just get zoomed in so that I can see all the taxiways. And now what we're going to do is get the plane started up and ready to go. So we're going to need the battery, we're going to need a fuel pump, and you can hear that just spinning up in the background. We're then going to get our engine started. Perfect. Probably held that start a bit long, but hey, whatever. We're then going to flick the alternator on, turn the fuel pump off, because it will now self-sustain. We've got the temperature of the engine coming up, which is good. Okie dokie. We are then going to want the beacon, the not the landing lights just for now. We want the taxi lights, the nav light, and the pitot heat. We're then going to turn the avionics on as well, which is all of this mumbo jumbo. I don't know how it works yet. Like I said, that's the whole point of learning how to do this. We're going to be taking the flight up to here, so EGVA, like so. Let's get my yoke showing, and then we're just going to taxi over to the runway, release the parking brake. We've got quite a journey over. I don't know how to properly taxi. Like I said, I've only had a very limited experience with flight sims. We look fairly clear on traffic, and of course I can see all the traffic on the map, so we are fine. So I'm going to taxi to the runway and I will bring you guys back. Oh, I just noticed on the map that behind me there is a C-90 taken off. Let's just pop the brakes on. Wouldn't normally do this, but if we go to the circle view, and yeah, that's very loud. There he is. Taken off just there. Awesome. And by the way, can we just admire the beauty of this game? Oh, hello. Apart from its little bit of glitchiness. There we are. The modelling job in this. Oh, it's fantastic. And there's me, apparently. Hey, me. Right, let's get back in, and yeah, I'll bring you guys back when we're on the runway. Okay, so we're just approaching the runway. We're nearly there now. There is a Boeing 737 that's just landed behind me, but he's vacated runway 36. Let me show you this. If I close that. So you can see he has vacated runway 36. He landed this direction. and is now on the taxiway. So we've got no traffic at all. We're clear to move. Let's get ourselves lined up with the centre line. Like so. And then we're going to pop the landing lights on, turn the taxi lights off, and we are good for a takeoff. Let's just get the map back up for me and pop it out. I should probably be paying attention right now. There we are. Awesome, just so that I can see where I'm going on this flight. Not paying attention. There we go. Right, let's get some power. I should have probably set the flaps before I was taking off, but you know. Checklists will be something that I do look into and start using. I got a good climb. I sort of want to cruise at about 2,000, 2,500, something like that. I just need to set my glide slope up again. Right, we're looking good. I want to fly just off sort of to the left-hand side of the runway here. Right, we're up at 1,000 feet, so let's bring one notch of flap up. And then we will actually start to decrease the throttle as well and bring the flaps all the way up. That's going to bring our airspeed up. We will have to trim a little bit. Awesome. I do still want to keep the climb going. Like I said, till we're about 2,000-ish feet. And we should start to see my hometown appearing from the right hand side at some point. Okay, we're coming up on 2,000, so I'm going to start levelling off. And then we can get some speed on motoring up to RAF effort. Let's have a look on the map here. Yeah, so you can see this is the runway we're landing on. Over there. Oh. Blown through our altitude a little bit. Let's bring it down. And then that's actually come back on the power a slight touch and reset the trim. Like so. Okay, where's my hometown then? Is that you? No, I don't think that is. No. Oh, there it is in the distance. Yeah, so that is the model of my hometown. In this game, of course. It looks pretty good, actually. It's a fairly good model, so this is going to be the motorway going through. And then I believe they've done the train station as well. Can't quite see it. I think it might. Oh, there we go. A bit of texture pop in there in the distance. Yeah, I think this is the railway line moving down. So my house is going to be like over there somewhere-ish. I don't know. It's not that accurate of a model. Bring ourselves back round, and we should start to see the runway at some point. I think this might be it here. There is a runway off of our left-hand side. Somewhere. I think that might be it, potentially. Yeah, directly off to our left now. It's going to be one of these little patches. There's a tiny little runway over there. But, like I said earlier, we're heading over to EGVA, which is RAF Fairford. The modelling in this game is fantastic. Like, all of these look so good. And all of the gauges work. I haven't found one that doesn't work yet. A lot of the buttons are clickable. Some aren't. Like, I mean, this thing over here, I don't even know what it does. I'm going to assume that's the autopilot setting. But it looks like even this sort of total hours thing rotates. Yeah, it is a fantastic model. I will learn how to use the autopilot. But again, this video is just a sort of a basic introduction for myself for flying aircraft like this. I need to start bringing my altitude down a bit. I've let it creep up, and I shouldn't have done. Because looking at the glide slope, I'm already higher than I should be. That is the runway just in front of us, right there. So that's where we're headed. Turn ourselves a little bit to the left, so that when we make our base turn, we'll then be good. I think it's called a base turn. I've got a rough idea of the terminology, but I might use it wrong. So if there are any sort of people who know what they're doing when it comes to flying, flight simulators, etc., please let me know. I will be paying attention to the comments a lot in this series, because I need to learn. I'm going to be doing a lot of sort of learning in my spare time, but if you guys know stuff and can help me out in the comments, that would be very much appreciated. Okay, we're doing good. Like I said, I need to bleed off some altitude, so let's bring the power right down. I should be about 1,500 feet right here, and yeah, I'm almost double that. So let's get a bit of a decent dive going. So make a little bit of a turn, just so I can give myself a bit more room, a bit more time to slow down, I think. This probably isn't how it's done in real life. In fact, I'd wager that it is guaranteed not how it's done in real life. But for the purposes of this video and me just learning the basic flight mechanics, I think it's okay. So we're coming down, we're at 2,000 feet right now. Is that 2,000 feet? Yeah, it must be. Okay, let's start making a turn towards the runway. My little glide slope indicator that I've got tells me that I'm good. But when we get close, I think they're called the PAPI lights, which is the 4 lights, and they can either be white or red. If they're white, well, if you've got 3 white, you're too high. If you've got 3 red, you're too low. What you want to see is 2 white, 2 red. Okay, let's make our turn in. Our airspeed seems to be okay. Let's get 1 notch of flap. Yeah, so there's the PAPI lights just coming into view. So I've got 3 white, so I am too high. I need to bring myself lower. Looking good. There's 2 white, 2 red, so we are now on the glide slope. Bring myself in for a bit of a better turn onto the runway. Awesome. And then it is just a case of monitoring this as we approach the runway. So yeah, this is my final approach for runway 09 at RAF Fairford. I feel like my airspeed's dropping a bit too far. Get a bit more power on. Yeah, I think we're doing okay now. We're getting a little bit low on the glide slope. The lights haven't changed just yet. Incidentally, this is the second time that I've recorded this video due to a problem with the audio in the first one. And I was really, really pleased with my first landing. So, if this landing sucks, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. You seem to be doing okay. I'm doing much better at keeping on the glide slope this time. Though I do need to centralise myself a bit. I am off to the right-hand side of the runway by the looks. Just get a slight correction in for it. Still got the good glide slope. We're down around 600 feet now. It's 550. We're a little bit high, so let's reduce my airspeed. Okay, come on altitude, come down. 500. There we go, we're back on the glide slope. $400 feet. Coming down. Let's just use a bit of rudder to get it on. Want a nice, smooth landing. 300 feet. I didn't check what altitude this airport is actually at. I think it's around 260. But we're going in now. Start to round out our descent. We're way off the centre line this time. Throttle to idle. And we're down. All three wheels. Awesome. Yeah, I'm way off the centre line. I should have been much closer. But that's something we can work on. Something I can develop. Let's use a bit of braking here. I just want to turn myself off the runway. Probably a bit quick to make this turn, but whatever. Whatever works, I guess. And let's stop ourselves here. And then we're going to shut down the engine like so. Let's get the generator off, the battery off. I didn't turn my landing lights on, and I should have done. But it's not too much of a problem just for this sort of first introductory flight. Let's have a look at the map and just show you what we did. So we took off down here from runway 06. We then took a left-hand turn, sort of snaked our way round, and then came in for a landing at EGVA. We do have a C90, it looks like it's taken off. I'm mostly clear of the runway, so he should be fine. But yeah, that's going to do it for this first episode. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully, if you've liked what you've seen, you can subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I make a video. Thanks very much. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.